sorry? You want me to take the upcoming B-tier exam? The man in the yellow shirt and brown vest cradles a green bowling ball, staring down at it. But why? Taejun, slouched in a chair nearby, reaches for something on the floor without even looking up, clearly annoyed. Ugh, were you even listening? All you have to do is participate in the exam. Taejun draws another long pull from his drink, and get in Taejun Lee's way. The D route was designed to be harder than the other ones, so if you just make things hard for him, he shouldn't be able to get through very easily. A gloved hand closes around a cup of ice, straw jutting from the lid, and I hear... The voice needles at him, unseen. Your mother's fallen pretty ill lately, hasn't she? Taejun's face goes rigid with shock. Ugh. You should be a good boy and make some money so she can have her surgery. Taejun's shocked expression twists, slowly, into a sharp, unsettling grin as he tightens the glove on his hand. If it all goes well, I'll make sure you get paid more than enough. The man says nothing at first, sweat beading on his brow, his gaze fixed on the ground. Just trust me with this, all right? And so, I managed to get into Route D with Taejun, but deeper into the rock passage, Taejun presses a hand to the wall, eyes fixed ahead as something pale and eyed with red slithers into view. Oh, look, monsters. In the gloom of the passage, pale serpents with blood-red eyes coil out from the rock, tongues flicking through the stale air between them. One of the serpents rears back and strikes forward, mouth splitting wide to show off a pair of long, dripping fangs, its red eye gleaming in the dark. Taejun surges forward, fist connecting again and again, blood spraying through the dark as the green helmet man reels back behind him, wide-eyed. So weak, and so little XP, Addy mutters, as a notification flares up before Taejun's eyes. Activated. Small XP gained minus... I never heard about this, Junhyun cries out, sweat streaming down his face as the red light closes in around him. When did he become so strong? He wasn't that much stronger than me, only a few weeks ago. Taejun and I were always on the lowest rung of the ladder at Skybreaker. Even so, he never lost hope. You can absorb the enemy's attack? That's a pretty sick ability. Taejun chews on the piece of meat pressed into his hand, the muscular man in the green vest studying him with a half-smile as the curly-haired boy behind them leans in to steal a bite of his own. Really? The big man asks. With a skill like that, your true potential's gonna show one day, Taejun beams, throwing up a confident thumbs up as the sun blazes behind him. Keep at it, someone calls, and the curly-haired boy just keeps chewing, tearing into his burger without a word. While I was down, he encouraged me as his junior, and gave me hope. So how can I sabotage him like this? A clawed hand trembles in the dark, droplets falling around it. I'm such a horrible piece of trash. But what can I do? The memory won't let go. A hospital bed, a woman resting fitfully, an IV line swaying above her. Who's going to pay for Mom's surgery if I don't do this? And back in the present, the green helmet tips forward, sweat running down a trembling face. Junhyun's fist clenches, trembling. I have to do it. This is for my mom. Taejun. Taejun glances back over his shoulder, brow furrowed, clearly caught off guard. You must be really tired. Please have this. The man in the green helmet holds out the bottle with both hands, beaming. Taejun turns the bottle over in his hand. Oh, what's this? It's a boost potion. I usually take some for raids, Junhyun explains, and it's really helpful. I want you to have one. Taejun snaps the cap off the little blue bottle, beaming. Wow, thanks. The figure tips the little blue bottle back and drains it in one go. Watching from below, the green-helmeted man's eyes go wide with sweat breaking across his face. He's drinking the paralyzing solution! Taejun downs the bottle and shakes out his fist, grinning fiercely. Ka, this thing's pretty good. The green-helmeted man stares at him, sweat beading on his brow. He's going to get worn out in no time. A crackle of light flashes beside Taejun's face, and he flinches, sweat breaking out across his brow. Oof. Huh? Is it already taking effect? An unseen voice wonders, as the man doubles over, his whole body shaking violently, dark energy coiling around him. I think the devil is about to burst from my belly. Junhyun, there's no bathroom around here, is there? No bathrooms here, Junhyun admits, Taejun doubles over, sparkles of misery swirling around him. Ugh, I should have gone beforehand. I guess we have to complete the dungeon quickly then. Sure. What's going on? Is the poison not working? Junhyun just stands there sweating, looking a little lost, oblivious to whatever's being whispered about him from somewhere unseen. Why don't they at least put a toilet in the dungeon? Why would they? Taejun stands there sweating, clutching at his jacket, while Addy hovers close, watching him with a wary frown. Then, unbidden, a notice flares into being before him. Activated! Does Taejun have resistance to poison? A giant pit. Is it here? The serpent lies torn in two, blood spattered across the shattered rock. Junhyun stands motionless amid the carnage. Ahead of him, at the edge of the outcrop, Taejun studies the path before him with Addy hovering at his side. This might be a dead end. Let's go back a bit. What's with this map, though? It's like we're running in circles, comes the reply. Nearby, Junhyun stands motionless in his cargo vest and green helmet, while beside him, Taejun's form seems to shudder, his outline doubling as if something isn't quite right. And in the stillness, a thought surfaces from beneath that helmet. This is my chance. Even if I make him fall in, he won't die. Unaware, Taejun mutters to himself, maybe I should just go here, as two enormous clawed hands rise up on either side of him, closing in. I can't see another way to sabotage his exam. Taejun. Taejun's brow furrows, his eyes narrowing in confusion. I'm so sorry. Junhyun lunges out of the dark, both hands clawing forward as everything around him blurs with speed. Taejun's eyes go wide as Junhyun closes the distance in a blur, hand snapping out toward him. Taejun's eyes go wide. Huh? The man in the green helmet glances back, sweat rolling down his neck. The scream rips out of him. The cry fades into ragged, gasping breath, and then a hand shoots out of the dark, seizing hold of a mustard-yellow boot in a white-knuckled grip. What's wrong with you? Why would you jump off a cliff like that? Below, wedged between the narrow stone walls, the green-helmeted man hangs suspended, sweat streaming down his straining face, Addy drifting beside him as if nothing at all were the matter. Wedged tight between the stone walls, the green-helmeted man sobs out, Taejun, I'm such a scumbag. Let me go. I don't deserve to live. Taejun recoils, sweat beading on his brow. What are you talking about? I actually tried to make you fail the exam. Tears stream freely down his face as his voice breaks. I was going to sabotage your exam for my own gains. So just let go of me. I don't deserve a second chance. Youngjin thrashes against the hold, arms flailing wildly in the dark. Taejun grips him tight and won't let go. We can talk about that later. Why now, of all times? The ground shudders as jagged light crackles beside him, sweat pouring down his straining face. This is bad. I should just poop somewhere nearby. I don't think anyone's gonna be watching my stream. Taejun shifts in his sleeping bag, tongue out and sweating, as the device on his wrist beeps insistently. A live indicator glints in the corner as the feed shows a body sprawled awkwardly across the cracked rock of a ravine. 10 little viewer icons ticking upward as scribbled comments scroll past unread. A hand creeps across the stone toward the blinking wrist device strapped there, and then the realization hits like a slap. 10 people! Down in the chat, the little watching faces murmur among themselves, "What's happening? That guy just ran into the pit." In the chat, a little red-haired viewer types away, "Lol, this is gonna be a asterisk show XD." Meanwhile, Saren's shout tears through the air. Why do I have 10 people watching my live stream? A voice tears out, ragged with panic. No, I can't let people watch me take a dump on live stream, not in a million years. The straining man hunches between the rocks, teeth clenched, sweat dripping, every muscle locked in a battle against nature itself as the stone beneath him groans and gives way. The ledge gives way beneath him, and the straining man drops backward into open air, arms and legs thrown wide. Rock crumbles away behind him in a shower of dust and stone, and nearby, Addy claps her hands to her face, eyes huge, as she watches him fall. Addy stretches out her hand, but there's nothing left to grab. The straining man is already gone, swallowed by the dark below. tumbling end over end as rubble rains down around him and his scream tears through the emptiness. The fall ends hard, and out of the dark comes a groan. Ugh, ow, my butt. Ugh, where are we? The dark swallows everything except the eyes, dozens of them, blood red and unblinking, ringing the two of them from every side. Junhyun and the dark-haired figure beside him freeze, staring up into the black. Huh. Out of the black, the shapes resolve, pale, scaled, countless. Head after head rears up around them, red eyes gleaming, tongues tasting the air. The hissing rises from every direction at once, closing the circle. Junhyun's scream tears through the dark. We're doomed! But Taejun only smirks, calm as ever, amid the closing ring of hissing shapes. She gasps for breath as she runs, sweat beading on her face, then her eyes widen. Oh, Group B is in trouble. They appear to be low on stamina. The blonde swordsman braces himself, forearm raised, sword slick with blood, while the purple-haired runner grips a long staff behind him, and below, a pale, eyeless white creature drags itself across the blood-soaked ground toward them. First elimination of the day? Should have trained harder. Will they make it through? Purple-haired runner's face twists in terror, sweat beating down her skin as she grips her staff tight. Heck, Mommy, I don't want to do this anymore. A small figure goes tumbling and shrieking through the mist, swept helplessly away on the wind. Blonde swordsman watches them go, jaw dropping. Yo, where the hell are you going? Aram Hong has given up and run away with her tail between her legs. Lol, what a wuss. Deserted. Oh, come on. Help! Blonde swordsman's sword drips as the pale, red-eyed serpents close in, their hiss rising all around him. Purple-haired runner can only watch, tears on her cheeks, as the announcement cuts through the mist. Hunter Aram Hong has forfeited, meaning Group B has been eliminated. You douchebag, I'm gonna kill you. A woman with wind-whipped purple-red hair brings her blade down in a savage arc, the live indicator glowing beside her as it happens. Steel meets steel, as a man drops low to block. The hell did you say to me? Again and again their weapons crash together, sparks flying in the mist, and over it all, the announcement rings out. Group C is not getting along very well, to say the least. They may be the next to fail. They've been at it from the start. WTF. That leaves us with Group A. Will they overcome these trials and make it through? Massive serpent shapes coil out of the mist above him, red eyes burning in the dark, and the young man below raises a hand toward them, bracing for what comes next. Siren bounds across the jagged stone, fist raised high. Hey, everyone! It's your gal, Siren! Enjoy the stream. Comments scroll in below her. She's a looker. My heart is hers, Siren. Today, we'll be raiding monsters called Millennium White Serpents. The great white serpents rear up out of the mist, their hisses rolling through the rock, red eyes burning in the dark. Siren steels herself. Here we go. Are you ready? A voice calls out just as the great white serpents burst up out of the mist behind her. Siren whips around, fist raised, but finds no one there. Huh? Where'd he go? Hiya, 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 A voice cracks across the mist like a whip, and Siren flinches back, eyes wide. What are you doing all on your own? A young man with dark, wind-swept hair sets his jaw, eyes burning with resolve. This exam is my chance to truly impress Master. I shall not let it go to waste. The dark-haired examinee hurls himself bodily into the towering white beast, the impact tearing the ground apart, while a massive serpent with a burning red eye coils nearby, watching. Down in the stream's comments, Purple Aton commenter writes, "Ha ha ha, this guy's absolutely wild," and Green Aton commenter chimes in, "He might be the strongest out of all M." Siren bites down on her thumbnail, sweat beading on her brow. He's trying to get all the attention. "But not on my watch." Siren drops low and drives her hand into the ground, and icy blue light erupts around her, cracking across the rock. Frost, wind, ice and wind tear across the rock in a blinding surge of blue light. The blast rolls on, ice and water churning together in a blinding wash of blue. "I'm not playing second fiddle to anyone. The star of this exam is me." The words are barely out before a wall of jagged blue ice and churning water crashes down, and the boastful examinee is flung backward through the air, energy bursting uselessly from her hand as blood scatters across the ground beside her. Blood sprays through the air as the clash tears on. It's an all-out attack by Group A. Now this is the kind of action we've been waiting for. Down in the comments, the viewers can't get enough. "The birth of a new rivalry, LOL," says Purple Icon commenter. "They're def gonna pass the exam," adds Green Icon commenter. "The shining prospects of two of the four great guilds are the first to reach the boss's chamber." Siren strides ahead, sharp and self-assured, the dark-haired man in the dragon-marked robe keeping pace beside her, a small white creature riding along on his bag. Down in the comments, the crowd eats it up. "So awesome, ha ha ha," one viewer writes. "A couple of super rookies for real," says another. "They're gonna be B tier by TMR," adds a third. Siren and Dragon Robe Man step into the cavern's gloom, and something ahead reacts sharply. Ugh! Deep in the dark, a huge clawed shape claps its hands together, slow and deliberate. "You did well in getting here. I expected nothing less from you two." Taejun grins, staff in hand as purple energy roars up behind him. "Now you can just follow me into the boss room." Siren hesitates, a hand pressed near her ear. "Wait, I don't think Hunter Taejun Lee is here yet." "Ah, you mean Group D. I can't get any streaming signal from them, so I suspect they've been eliminated." Taejun stands amid the jagged, mist-shrouded rocks, his blade slung across his back, eyes fixed on the phone in his hand. "Like I said, he is quite unimpressive," declares Dragon Robe Man, hands planted on his hips. Behind him, Siren stretches wearily, eyes closed. "Aw, that sucks. I was hoping to get a good look at the hunter that made a big impression on Deputy Cha." "Now then, please follow me. I will take you to the boss monster." Taejun turns toward the swirling purple rift, sword strapped across his back, as a fist pumps eagerly somewhere behind him, and a sweating man in a black jacket looks on. "Okay," pipes up the small white creature at his feet. Junyun must have done a good job holding him back. Taejun glances back over his shoulder as the purple energy behind him surges and billows outward, his coat catching in the sudden rush. Footsteps echo through the mist, one after another, as Dragon Robe Man follows close behind Taejun, who carries the long crimson-tasseled spear over his shoulder. Behind them both, faint and glowing, drifts an image of Siren. Soohyun Cha will be pretty darn disappointed if he finds out. Taejun smirks to himself, and then something ahead lets out a sudden, wordless cry. No one has words for it. Dragon Robe Man's face goes rigid with alarm, rain lashing down around him, while Siren, drifting nearby, claps a hand over her mouth in shock. Ahead of them both, Taejun stands frozen, sweat running down his face, his mouth hanging open, unable to say anything at all. Light rains down like blades from above, and beneath it stands a hooded figure with a skull for a face, blade in hand, waiting. Below, a colossal pale creature lies run through, one great red spike after another, driven deep into its scarred, bleeding body, its blood-soaked head sunk low against the stone. "Brebuoff, what the?" A man in a blue cap breathes, standing beside Taejun and the white-eared creature, as all three stare up at the horror unfolding above them. "Hell." The word trails off into the dark, and from the webbed ruin above, a towering antlered skull king sits waiting, arms folded, its presence pressing down like a slow, tolling dread. The stone base looms in the gloom, a shredded cloak hanging still against it, old stains creeping across the rock like something long since spilled and forgotten. "Happened here?" The skeletal throne figure's crowned skull tilts forward, a thin beam of purple light burning from its hollow eye. Junhyun Kim's exclusive hunter skill, Inhale. It absorbs the enemy's magic attack and returns it right back to the enemy. Its power is proportional to how much he absorbs. A small flame added to Junhyun equals a bigger, fiercer flame thrown back. A small blue flame added to Junhyun equals a bigger, fiercer blue flame thrown back. But a larger red flame pushed into him leaves him straining, sweat beading, hand raised in effort. The stronger he gets, the greater magic damage he can absorb. His inhale combined with my Archmage's fireball to create a new skill. We called it Blue fire tore up into the night sky, and from somewhere within it came a cry, Yahoo! The blue fire carries them higher still. Taejun's scream tearing loose into the dark as Junhyun holds on tight beneath him, the two of them rising together on a column of flame. Lol, what? Yo, I can't breathe! Blue fire roars up around them in the driving rain as the grinning figure looms over Junhyun. Junhyun, you can eat more, right? Junhyun's face twists with strain, blood at the corner of his mouth. Yeah, I'm fine. Okay, we're gonna head straight to the boss room in one blast. Got it. Down below, the watching chat lights up. Come on, Group D, you can do it. Let's go. A man in a black robe lets out a startled, oh my. The boss of this dungeon was supposed to be the Imugi dragon. But what happened? Below the hooded figure on its throne, the ground itself seems torn open, a vast ridged jaw of stone and bone, studded with blood-red crystalline spikes, each one dripping and cracked as if driven through something enormous from beneath. Not only is the Imugi dead, but what is that necromancer? Seated upon its throne, the hooded, skeletal figure looms in the web-draped dark, a horned, skull-topped staff in one bony hand, a long blade resting across its lap. Could it be that someone has tampered with the exam? The skeletal figure's skull tilts, its burning eye narrowing, and its jaw stretches wider and wider, all teeth. Hunter Choi, is that... Saren's voice cracks as she stares past the black-robed man beside her, straight at Jinhyuk Choi, his jaw clenched, sweat beading down his face. An undead necromancer? What's it doing here? From somewhere unseen, the voice cries out as two skeletal shapes rise from the dark, one crowned, wreathed in violet flame, the other lifting a staff, topped with a burning skull, the ground beneath them bristling with jagged crimson spikes. The skeletal figure's ruined face fills the space above, violet fire streaking past its skull as a jagged crimson spike drives upward to meet it. Get back, both of you! Taejun's voice cuts through the dark, his back turned, a purple weapon gripped tight in his hand, and a red-hilted blade tucked at his waist as motion streaks past him on every side. The stone-skinned monster's scarred head hangs close overhead, and below it, the skeletal figure grips its long blade and swings, violet flame crowning its skull as the blow cuts the air. The creature's jaws split wide and a searing violet beam rips from its throat. Beneath it, the hooded, skeletal figure lunges, its long blade trailing violet fire, driving in for another strike. Light tears across the space around him, and Taejun grits his teeth, both hands locked white-knuckled around the spear's shaft, bracing against whatever comes next. Urgh. Taejun is flung skyward as a wall of golden force rips through the dark below him, and Suhyun-cha and Saren can only watch the blast tear across the horizon from where they stand. Hunter Choi, we can't just sit back and watch. Saren's voice cuts through the dark as snowflake-bright energy gathers between her hands, and below her Jinhyuk Choi surges forward, his fist wreathed in churning red power, jaw clenched, sweat flying. Ice arrow! Saren's blast of jagged blue ice tears through the dark toward the towering serpent, its violet eye flaring as the attack closes in. Beneath it, wreathed in churning red light, Jinhyuk Choi drives forward with a roar. Rising dragon fist, tiger strike. A skeletal hand curls tight around its golden ring, one clawed finger igniting with violet light. Ice spears tear through the dark toward the towering, ghost-pale face looming above, and one drives home. Blood sprays as the figure caught in its path is thrown back. Q! Below, more spears rain down, and at the heart of it all, Suhyun-cha's hands blaze white-hot as another burst of frozen fury is unleashed. A scream rips through the chaos. Ugh! And Taejun drops to his knees, face twisted in horror. You guys! No! Ugh, that Necro must be the one controlling the Amugi dragon. Taejun tears forward, blade flashing red at his side. Unless I take him down first. Behind the chaos, the hooded skeletal figure rises from its throne, a violet flame igniting above its burning eyes. Wind tears through the air as something massive sweeps past. Taejun grits his teeth, gripping his red blade tight, eyes locked ahead. Taejun is swept up bodily, caught in the massive coiling length of the creature as it drags him through the air, his teeth clenched against the force of it. I let my guard down. I charged in recklessly. The serpent's jaws split wide, its scream tearing through the crimson haze as it plunges down toward him. So this is how I die. I wish. I could have told her before. Woohoo! We made it out! Something huge and blurred lashes down through the rain overhead. Youngjin stares up at it, rain streaking his face. Am I seeing things? Junhyun knocks his fist against the young woman with orange hair tied back, both of them glowing with triumph. Nice! We got to the boss area. Taejun just stares at them, unsettled. The young woman with orange hair tied back thrusts her fist toward him, beaming. This is all thanks to you, Taejun. Taejun stands frozen, sparks drifting past him in the dark. What just happened? I guess they saved my life, but then his focus snaps back. Hold on, that's not important. Taejun, Junhyun! Someone's voice cuts through the chaos as Junhyun and Taejun clasp hands, grinning with the giddy relief of having survived, sparks of light glinting around them, but the warmth doesn't last. Get away from the Amugi, now! Taejun's grip tightens on Junhyun's hands as he cranes his neck upward, the enormous jaws of the beast yawning open above them, fangs long as his own body glistening wet in the dark. Amugi? Taejun! The blast tears through the ruins, debris ripping past as Taejun throws up an arm to shield his face. Whoa! Behind him, Junhyun lies sprawled across the broken ground, one arm stretched out toward him. Hey, what's going on? A Necro and Imagi, that's overkill for a B-tier exam. Someone must have tampered with the dungeon. I guess they don't want a certain person to pass the exam. Either they have enough potential to be a threat to another guild, or someone has connections to another guild. Well, alright. Taejun stands there a moment longer, question marks swirling around his head, chin resting in his hand. So complicated. High above them, the immense serpent coils through the violet haze, the flame-crowned figure balanced upon its back, fire blazing in both hands. Below, the man in the green helmet jabs a finger skyward. We just have to kill that dude, right? Yeah, the stern blue-haired man says flatly. Gosh, I hate the idea of teaming up with you. Taejun just grins, hands clasped together like he's savoring it. Same here. Taejun crouches low against the driving rain, weapons blazing in both hands. But we've got no choice. It's a temporary alliance. Below him, Soohyun Cha clasps his hands together, a searing ball of blue light gathering between his palms, ready to be unleashed. Junhyun, can you eat any more fireballs? Junhyun sways on his feet, sweat beading on his temple, his stomach growling loudly. No, I think I had too much. The great scarred head shifts, its pale hide crawling with old wounds, that single violet eye burning steady in the dark. The serpent rears back, unleashing another storm of slashing force, green light tearing the air apart, and below, something meets it head-on in a whirl of crimson, blade against blade. Taejun, watch out! Yeah, I see them. Taejun plants his feet and drives his palms together, a white-hot sphere of force blazing to life between them as slashes of green light rip past on either side. Fireball, 20% powers. A wall of searing blue fire tears upward, hurling bodies through the blaze as streaks of green light are consumed in its wake. The towering thing's roar tears through the dark, its crystalline head glowing an eerie blue as its single white eye burns and its jaws split wide. You're dead meat! Taejun plants his feet and grips the crossed weapons in his hands, one crackling violet, one burning red, smoke rising off him as he readies himself. Skybreaker Lance style, Form 2. The lance tears through the air in a blazing streak of violet and pink, smoke boiling in its wake. Then the great beast rears back, its jagged, glowing head thrown skyward as it lets out a furious roar. Grrr! Atop the beast's ruined hide, the crowned skeleton rises, violet fire crackling from its skull, a smoking lance clutched in its bony grip as the sky itself seems to tear apart around it. Now's our chance, Siren cries out, flinging her arm forward, a stream of shimmering energy pouring from her fingertips. The necromancer is defenseless. The power surges down, wrapping around Taejun, wreathing his fists in crackling blue crystal as he braces low. All right, it's my turn now, he roars, rising with his glowing fists ready to strike. Taejun drops on the crowned figure like a blade falling, ice crackling around his fist as he tears into it. A real man strikes at the first opportunity, he roars, his fist wreathed in jagged blue light, ready for more. Taejun's fist tears downward, wreathed in jagged blue-white light, unleashing the full force of his technique, the glacial dragon fist, as ice and shattered debris explode outward around him. Junhyun, we can't lose to them. We're the best combo here. The dark-haired teammate seizes Junhyun's face, squeezing hard as sparks of blue energy dance between them. Just one more, man. You can do it. Junhyun, straining under the pressure, forces out a reply. Oof. Okay, I'll try. Blue light roars up around Junhyun, crackling and violent. Taejun x Junhyun's secret combo. Hellbound Express! The blue light detonates, tearing upward in a blinding surge before collapsing back down, and Junhyun crashes to the ground, still. The ice splits wide open, shards scattering in every direction, and deep within the fracture, something dark and swirling opens, like an eye staring back out. Taejun grins, sharp and wild. Did we get him? Every face turns at once. Taejun, the dark-haired man, Seren, Jinhyuk, the green-helmeted man, all struck silent by the same sight, their shock breaking out in one shared, wordless cry. Our attacks didn't affect him. Violet fire roars up around the crowned skeleton as its flames surge higher, the air itself seeming to scream in a language none of them can read. The violet fire tears open, and the crowned skeleton bursts through it, blades crossed, wings of flame and smoke ripping wide on either side of it. The wings tear wider still, violet flame and smoke unfurling like feathers, black and burning. The wings rake through the air, claws of black and violet flame, and blood bursts into the mist. Junhyun's cry tears out of him. Impossible. Amid the jagged ice, Taejun stands drenched in his own blood, dragging in ragged breaths, and not far off, Seren does the same, both of them spent. Even an undead necro shouldn't be impervious to damage. Blood dried across the bridge of his nose. Taejun mutters, "Are we missing something? We just don't know enough about the necro." Before he can finish the thought, a voice cuts through, cold and mocking. "You haven't forgotten about me, have you, Taejun?" Addy. Behind her, Taejun lies motionless on the broken stone, blood soaking through his jacket. Addy's translucent form flares brighter, her eyes locked on him, her whole body rigid with alarm. Phew, you have no idea how much work it took to download the app. Well then, Addy Min's arm cracks with power as light and glitching fragments swirl around her. Let's try out the map hack, shall we? Well then, let's try out the map hack, shall we? What are you talking about? Map hack? Stop messing around. Taejun stands bloodied amid the shattered, web-cracked space, his expression caught between disbelief and dread as a chime sounds and a glowing status window flickers into view before him, reading, "Gathering dungeon data, 20% complete." A chime sounds, mapping dungeon layout, 40% complete. Another window unfolds before him, analyzing nearby monsters, 60% complete. Then a second chime, reconstructing dungeon map based on gathered data. Bursts of blue light flare around Taejun, his jacket streaked with blood, as jagged stone spikes loom behind him. A glowing green icon pulses to life, executing parsley navigation. Taejun's eyes go wide, blood streaking his face. What's this? Parsley navigation? Addy Min lights up, ticking things off with a raised finger. Parsley navigation provides various details about the dungeon, including but not limited to enemies' attack patterns, hidden paths, and item rewards. Addy Min hugs a cluster of glowing icons close. I also installed some other apps, so please try them out to your heart's content. This is more than a map hack. It's basically a cheat code. I can't believe these functions even exist. As Jinhyuk said, the dungeon boss here is supposed to be a B-tier boss, the Imugi dragon. So, who is that guy? Someone asks, as the shape claws itself up out of the dark, a crowned skull wreathed in purple fire, bone spikes jutting from its shoulders, torches of ghost flame burning where its hands should be. Something garbled and wordless spills from it, unreadable, more sound than speech. Where did this monster come from? Another voice demands, as the thing keeps rising, purple and black bleeding out around it. The skeleton's grin widens, that garbled sound from before rising into something almost like a cry. Wah! A jagged bubble bursts from the dark, and out of it comes a voice rendered plain for the first time. Mr. Aratus is so very, very happy. Yay! The purple flame skeleton throws its skull back, booming out great gouts of laughter, crown of violet fire shuddering with each burst. Then a blue panel flickers into being over it all. Parsley translator activated. Taejun stares out, blood flecked across his face, the green energy churning behind him. What the hell was that? Hey Addy, what's up with this? Taejun demands, pointing at her, blood streaked across his face. Addy hovers nearby, sparkling faintly, her expression sheepish. A glitch, maybe? Far off across the jagged wasteland, the purple flame skeleton's voice booms out, dark and warped. Uratus is so very thankful to Summoner for gathering so very many fresh fleshy humans. Yay! Its cry echoes again and again across the spikes as Taejun stands frozen, staring out at it. Beside him, Addy rubs her head, sheepish. The translator must be experiencing some technical difficulties. I suppose most apps are still very glitchy. Taejun stares out at the wasteland, blood dried across his cheek. Well, it's a bit weird, but good enough to understand his words. He just said summoner, didn't he? Does that mean someone summoned this monster forcibly? Yo, Jinhyuk, can you still move? Yeah, I managed to avoid any fatal blows somehow, Jinhyuk answers. Believe it or not, Taejun says, blood streaked across his face as the monster's spiked bulk looms behind him. I think I found the Necro's weakness. Jinhyuk stares back, blood on his own face. Huh? How would you even— No time to explain all the details, Taejun cuts in. Just trust me with this, Taejun says. I need your cooperation. Blood streaks his neck and collar as he turns, his expression set and grim. Taejun turns to him, and for a moment there's only silence. Oh. Then, blood still drying on his face, he answers, Fine, then what do we have to do first? Taejun's lips curl into a slow, dried blood smirk. First, we piss him off. Taejun leaps and flails both arms overhead, his sleeve soaked in blood. Hey, skeleton, over here! What you doing? Hurry up and attack us, dude. A man's face looms close, blood streaked across his brow, one eye rolled back white as his tongue lolls out over a drooling, stretched grin. Or are you two chicken? Ha ha ha. The skeleton's voice rolls out, low and mocking. I see you really very want to die. Yay. The skeleton's foot comes crashing down, purple light exploding outward as it cackles. It's going to be so fun destroying everybody. Yay. Siren springs into the air as jagged bolts of orange energy tear through the space around them, and Manic Taunter, blood streaked across his grinning face, roars out a warning. Dodge the attack! Taejun's mouth tears open in a wordless scream as the jagged orange energy rips past him, blood already streaked across his face. Follow me, now! The great spike of ice groans upward out of the mist, and for a moment nobody moves. That was close. Blood streaks Taejun's face, and his grin stretches wide as the thought forms in his head. Like Addy said, I can see through all of the Necro's attack patterns. The skeleton lets out a rasping, unintelligible screech into the mist before its voice steadies. This should make it a breeze to carry out my plan. You didn't land a single hit, bruh. What's wrong? Shaking in your boots because you're too scared? The dark-haired figure below him flinches, blood running from his eye, and gasps. Taejun! The skeleton rears back, and a wave of purple fire rips loose above it, unleashing a storm of screaming, flame-wreathed skulls that come tearing down toward the ground. Jian Kang, 3 steps to the right. A purple-haired man wrenches himself sideways, kicking clear as jagged bolts of orange energy tear through the stone where he'd been standing. Then, just as sharp, Junhyun, 5 steps backward. A violent surge of pink-purple energy rips through the jagged stone spires, and Taejun watches it with blood on his face, swallowing hard. Jian Kang cries out, I really dodged it. Behind him, Junhyun is flung through the ice-choked mist, blood spraying from the impact as he crashes clear of the jagged spires. From somewhere in the haze, Manic Taunter jeers, How impressive! The skeleton throws its head back and howls with laughter. Wahaha! Such good dodging skills, yay! Its skull tips upward, flame guttering purple in its eye socket, jagged bolts of pink energy crackling off its horns as the rain hammers down around it. Then try dodging this attack, yay! The skeleton's flame-crowned skull rears back, and the force of it sends 2 figures tumbling helplessly through the rain-lashed dark, energy tearing the air apart around them as a wall of fire erupts beneath. The 2 of them are flung through the downpour, sheets of rain and shattered blue shards raking past as the purple storm churns around them. Taejun, how do we dodge this one? The world around Taejun tears itself apart in streaks of searing orange, his face locked in fury as blood soaks through his shirt. Somewhere close, a clawed hand rips through solid rock like paper. Then the blue grid rises up around him, lines and numbers blooming out of the air itself, and Taejun's breath catches as the map hack finally answers his call. An attack that aims at every inch of the dungeon. Taejun's eye catches the orange light tearing across him, blood already streaking his face. The one and only way to avoid getting hit is... Jagged black scratches rip through the air, and dripping crimson letters begin to bleed into view, spelling out the first word of something that isn't finished yet. A tearing shriek rips through the air as the skeleton looms, something falling limp beneath it, and the fight below erupts among jagged spires of ice and stone. Oh, ho ho ho, foolish humans, yay! If you keep dodging, then I'll just throw an attack. You can't dodge in, get him, now! Taejun twists through the mist, weapon in hand, dodging as the blow comes for him, while below, a white-haired figure staggers, clutching a wound that's already soaked through with blood. The skeleton's massive claw closes around Taejun and flings him skyward, blood already soaking through his sleeve. He's under cooldown! Wait! How did you survive that one, yay? I don't understand what has happened. The blast tears the world apart around them, purple fire and debris hurled in every direction as Taejun crouches low, weapon in hand, at the heart of the storm. Radis's skill, Death's Requiem. Something ancient stirs in the dark, a jagged, skull-crowned shape rising against churning blue light, twin red gashes burning where eyes should be. Is an extreme AoE attack. The attack power increases the closer it gets to its maximum range, but its power is less toward the center, falling to only 10% of its full damage at the core. Aware of this detail from Parsley Navigation, Taejun was able to minimize the damage taken by charging toward the center. Freeze! Soohyun roars, blood streaking her arm as she forces the power through her hands. Ice tears across the ground in a shattering wave, closing in on the skeleton where it stands, its purple flame guttering against the cold, frost wind. You overcame Mr. Aratis's attack. Very good, guys. Yay! Addy's voice rings out, even as the skeleton's flame still flickers on, undimmed by the ice. But now what? None of your attacks can even tickle me, the skeleton roars, blood-streaked and shouting. Taejun cuts through the chaos. Okay, just keep him from moving. I'll leave it to you, Soohyun calls out. Taejun charges forward across the scorched ground, Addy Min darting at his side, straight toward the skeleton looming ahead. E-A-H? Where are you going? The skeleton calls after them. Don't tell me, the skeleton chokes out. The undead necromancer was summoned through a contract made by a summoner's offering, which acts as its host. He's practically immortal until that offering is destroyed. It's here. Amid the shattering void, a strange marked box hovers within the glowing grid, dark tendrils writhing beneath it. Taejun stares up at it, bloodied and breathing hard, fist clenched. The host of that filthy skeleton! If I just destroy it, I can undo the summoning. How dare you deceive Mr. Aratus? Yay! The skeleton tears free of the ice, shards splitting apart around its flame-crowned skull. I will never forgive you. Yay! The skeleton rockets forward in a blur, its flame crown blazing and its weapons trailing streaks of magenta light. Taejun flinches back, blood streaking his face and soaking through his torn jacket, his fist clenched tight as he braces against whatever is bearing down on him. A jagged burst tears through the dark, and the skeleton rears up above, its purple flame crown flickering as it raises its huge curved blade, pink light exploding outward around it. Taejun's eye goes wide, blood streaking his face as the searing light bears down on him. Hey, Brittlebones, where do you think you're going? Taejun hurls himself into the air, blood streaking his shirt, two weapons crossed above his head as he bears down on the skeleton, wreathed in its flickering purple flame. The skeleton towers above, its skull wreathed in that flickering purple flame, bony arms raised high. Taejun surges up at it, blood streaking his face, weapons crossed and swinging down with everything he has. You ain't going anywhere. When I'm still around! His blades tear down through the skull, and the skeleton's flickering purple flame scatters into the dark. The skeleton lets loose a shriek of agony. Eee! Taejun, we've got him pinned down. Go put an end to this. Taejun tightens his grip on the crimson staff, blood streaking his shirt and jeans, while Gyeon Kang steadies himself beside him, claws crackling with dark energy as the skeleton writhes, pinned beneath its own purple flame. Thanks, Jin-hyuk. Jin-hyuk, blood streaked across his brow, flashes a bloody thumbs up in answer. From somewhere in the dark, a jagged voice rasps out, twisted between terror and delight. No, please don't. Yay! Taejun surges forward, twin blades of crackling energy tearing from his fist, as a skeletal hand, ringed in gold, darts up out of the rubble to meet him. The same twisted voice shrieks out from the dark, anything but that. Mir. Taejun's fist comes hurtling forward, streaked red, the force behind it tearing the light itself apart. The blow lands, and the world seems to come apart around it, rock shattering, light tearing outward in every direction, as Taejun stands untouched at the center of the ruin he's just made. The skeleton's skull tips back, its purple flame guttering, and a ragged groan tears loose from its hollow jaw. Ugh! Alone atop a jagged spire of rock, wrapped in drifting cloud, sits an old chest bound tight with talismans, their red script glowing faintly against the yellow paper. Taejun rockets through the swirling cloud, teeth bared in a wild grin, talismans ripping loose from the old chest as he closes in. Found it! Taejun plants himself amid the wreckage, blood staining his shirt, the red spear and the purple staff clashing together with a sharp crack as a skeletal hand tears free of the ground beneath a violet, flame-wreathed skull. The necromancer's weakness Taejun mentioned. Is it hidden there? Taejun's face is streaked with blood and sweat, his eyes narrowed, wary of whatever waits ahead. Then the laughter comes, rolling and hollow. Wah-ha-ha, wah! And out of the mist, a skeletal hand, wrapped in glowing purple light, drags itself forward across the stone. How did he find out? The skeletal, crowned figure looms closer, its bony hand reaching out through the dark. The summoner and I should be the only ones who know about it. That human, just who in the world is he? Taejun stands unmoving, his back to the dark, his shirt torn and bloodied. Hey, skeleton! Taejun's face twists into a wild, manic grin, eyes wide, blood streaking his skin. He raises the talisman-bound chest high in his fist, light flaring behind him. Come closer! Come closer, and I will smash this to itty-bitty bits. Yay! A shimmering blue window flickers to life before him. Parsley translator activated. The creature recoils, flames leaping around its skull. What? How you speak the ancient dialect? Yay? Across from it, Taejun simply stands there, silent and still, blood streaked down his sleeve as everything hangs suspended. Yay! Listen carefully to what I say now. Yay! If you cooperate with us, you might live. Yay. Taejun says nothing, standing bloodied and still, his fist clenched as the strange gauntlet hums against his arm, while beside him, Addy simply grins, hands on her hips, watching it all unfold. Wahaha! Mr. Eratus is summoned through a contract. No word from the summoner, and I can't follow anyone else's orders. Yay! Wah! Taejun's battered face twists in confusion, a finger pressed thoughtfully to his cheek as blood streaks his jacket. Contract can be destroyed. Yay! That's not possible. Maybe an ancient archmage could, but a regular human like you. Taejun turns to face the crowned, skeletal figure looming over him in a haze of purple light. Yo, Skelly? Do I look like a regular human to you? Yay? He has not only seen through all of my spells, but also discovered the location of the relic. Could it be that this human actually knows a way to nullify the contract? Aww. For now, I will believe you. Yay. Maybe there is something you want? Eratus can do anything you wish. Yay. Ugh, he just made my stomach ache worse. Mr. Eratus looms overhead, crowned in purple flame. First, I want you to unsummon all the skeletons outside. Yay. Taejun whips around, blood-streaked and stunned. Huh? How did you know? I know it all, yay. I knew before I came here that you summoned them, fool. Yay. Bones erupt around Taejun as he cuts a bloody path forward, Junhyun hurled aside in the storm of skeletal limbs. Somewhere else, a display flickers to life. Parsley navigation has detected an anomaly. Taejun tears through the storm of bone, blood trailing behind his blade as skulls and splintered limbs burst apart around him. If I catch you lying, I'll break your wrist. Yay. Eek. Okay. Yay. Purple flame flares off the crowned skull and the smaller one atop its staff as the towering figure looms closer. It's nice that you are cooperating. Yay. What's next? Is there anything else? Yay? Of course. The grinning, blood-streaked thing looms close, its voice a low rumble. I want you to bring me. Addy, perched small and trembling on its shoulder, finishes the thought herself, her voice thin with fear. Ooh, everything you have, yay! Eratus recoils, purple fire flaring from its crown as its bony tendrils lash through the air. What do you mean? Eratus presses, you must have something, no? Items, accessories, etc. No way you don't have anything to give, yay. Taejun just stands there smirking, blood on his sleeves, chin propped on his hand as if he's really thinking it over, purple flame licking the air beside him. Then, I have nothing very useful. Eratus's skull tilts, bone light flickering. I see something nice though, yay. Wait, do you mean Mr. Eratus's precious staff? Eratus clutches the skull-top staff to himself, purple light flaring around his crowned skull. Not this, never, please. This staff, if you must know, is... Taejun grips the talisman-bound chest, blood and bruises smeared across his face, and grins. Mine. His fingers dig into the wood, cracking the seals beneath them. Or else, this breaks, like yay. Eratus extends a bone limb, offering up the skull-like object. Here you go. Yay. A bloodied arm reaches for it as an unseen voice answers back. Awesome, yay. Now you undo my contract? If you do that, I will do anything. Taejun says nothing, only raises the bone-white weapon high over the kneeling, crowned skeleton wreathed in purple flame. Huh? Contract? Bro, I have no idea how to do that. Blood streaks Taejun's face as the purple spirals churn around him, and then, unbidden, a notice flickers up. Parsley translator deactivated. Mr. Eratus tilts his crowned skull, glowing eyes narrowing in confusion. Huh? Taejun grins through the blood streaking his face, a blade resting against his shoulder. I don't even know the summoning spell, so how can I undo something like that? Try to keep up, will ya? Something vast, tears free of the light, a skull-pale head cracked through with glowing pink veins, its eyes burning magenta as it roars. Grah! A booming voice cracks down over the churning flame. How dare you deceive the mighty Eratus, yea! Below, the skull-like mass writhes deeper into the fire, one crimson eye flaring open as a burst of magenta light tears free beside it. I told you. I'd break it if you come closer. The blade comes down hard, and the monster's skull gives way in a burst of blood and shattered bone. Red and black energy hisses and spits, two burning eyes flickering within the churning mass. Whoa, this can't be. I don't want to. Go. Blood billows around Taejun in great crimson waves, soaking his jacket, spattering his shirt. As Addy hovers silent beside him, he smiles, faint and cold, into the wreckage. I must become greater. What a guy, vanishing in style, Addy says, drifting beside Taejun as blood hangs suspended in the air around them. Yeah, Taejun answers. Addy's gaze drops to the wreckage below. Anyway, I guess this is the summoner's offering. Taejun crouches amid the rubble, blood-soaked, and reaches out to pull a long shard of ice free from the ground. Taejun turns the severed finger over between his own, studying it. It must have been important enough to cut off their own finger, he says. Addy's voice drifts in beside him, almost too casual. I wonder who could have done that. Could they be after you? Taejun's expression falls, pale and wide-eyed at the thought. The bloodied man swings his skull-topped staff through the air with a grin. Oh, who cares? If I can get these OP items, I'm all good. Addy watches him from the side, unimpressed. He's so materialistic. Addy lowers her gaze, her bright cyan eyes clouding with worry. Oh? Taejun, I see another item here. Taejun's eyes go wide, his grin twisting into something unhinged. What? More items? I have no idea what this is, but I guess it's expensive if it came from the necro. Taejun turns the small purple crystal over in his fingers, no closer to an answer. Then, from the tunnel behind him, a voice rings out. Hey, Taejun, are you okay? He turns, startled, sweat beading on his brow, as figures come running toward him. Huh? Oh, yeah, I'm all right, Taejun calls back, and with that he whips his blade around in one sharp motion, the air rippling behind it. Did you really defeat him, the necro, on your own? Junhyun asks, staring at Taejun as Siren looks on, wide-eyed, beside him. Yeah, I did. Beyond him, 4 figures come walking out of the bright mouth of the tunnel, Junhyun and Siren among them. Elsewhere, standing shirtless atop a shattered stump with Addy glowing at his side. Addy says, he's gone, not a trace left. A voice booms down from somewhere above, grudging but genuine. I hate to admit it, but that was truly impressive. I acknowledge your strength to be only second to mine. Junhyun reaches up, bloodied but grinning, as Taejun answers with nothing but a thumbs up and a hard stare. Below them, Siren can't contain herself. That was amazing, Hunter Taejun. Taejun only smirks, letting out a short breath through his nose. Siren's voice catches, startled. Taejun. Taejun glances back over his shoulder, weapon still in hand. Yeah? The man, held fast by the collar, forces the words out. I'm sorry. Then, blood streaked across his face beneath the green helmet, he goes on. I'm the one who made Junhyun do all those things. That's why he tried to poison you and make you fall into the pit. I don't know how things went south between us. Below him, a lone figure trudges on through the gloom, worn down, bedroll and pack dragging at his shoulders. I think it irked me to see someone as talentless as yourself working so hard. I'm really sorry, Taejun. Taejun doesn't turn to look at him. I couldn't even tell it was you behind it all. You should have done a better job. Taejun's smile doesn't fade. Did you think that would make me fail the exam? Well, I guess you were never all that smart. The man with the tousled blue-tinted hair whirls around, sweat beading on his brow, blood staining the front of his torn shirt. Huh? Why you... Never mind that. Since I just made B tier, you should treat me sometime. Unnamed man in glasses stares back, stunned, as the bloodied hand hangs in the air between them. Sure thing. Whatever you want to eat, it's on me. Unnamed man in glasses finally clasps the offered hand. Let's go for some Wagyu steak. That's a bit much, unnamed man with blue-tinted hair replies, as their bloodied hands stay locked together. Oh, and I'm just a bit curious, but... Unnamed man with blue-tinted hair trails off, clearing his throat and glancing away, a flush rising in his cheeks. Before the blue-haired man can finish his own question, a gloved hand claps over his mouth. Do you have any feelings for Soon-ah? Unnamed man in glasses asks, a blush creeping across his cheeks as he holds the other man silent. Whoa, do you like her? No, that's not what I mean. Shut up. A broad hand rises with a thumbs up, and a familiar voice cuts in. Hey, guys! The gates open! A jagged green rift tears wide across the stone, and a gloved hand lifts, pointing straight at it. We can finally get out of here, Siren cries, and beside her the green-helmeted man pumps his fists. Hee, I can't wait to go back and eat all the good food. Yeah, let's go back, Taejun says. Taejun steps through the shimmering green portal alone, and beyond it, the others fall into step behind him. Unnamed figure with cat-like ears leading Junhyun by the hand, Jinhyuk Choi trailing with his blade over his shoulder, and the wounded man limping along beside Taejun, Addy Min's glow trailing softly at his side. Oh, my stomach's acting up again, the wounded man mutters. A burst of green light flares up behind them without warning, and the wounded man's eyes go wide as he twists around to look, but unnamed man in glasses doesn't even turn, walking on as if nothing happened at all. A voice greets them from somewhere unseen. I'm glad to see you've all made it. Ahead, the passage narrows toward a swirling wash of green light, and three figures press forward together. Unnamed figure with cat-like ears, Taejun Lee, an unnamed man with blue-tinted hair, their steps echoing down the tunnel. An unseen voice calls out to the gathered group, "Congratulations on becoming B-tier hunters." The wounded man's eyes go wide, sweat breaking across his brow. Yeonhwa Seo of Azure Lotus and Taepyeong Ma of Hwarang 2? What are the best hunters in the nation doing here? The man with wild red hair is revealed as Taepyeong Ma, Guildmaster of Hwarang, and beside him stands Yeonhwa Se, Guildmaster of Azure Lotus, her hands crackling with green light. As you all know by now, this exam was tampered with. Her footsteps ring out as she closes the distance, green energy coiling around her hands, while the three watch her approach in silence. An Imugi dragon turned into an undead, and a necromancer appeared. We saw some monsters that shouldn't have been there. We've determined that this incident must have been the work of a faction that seeks to undermine the Azure Lotus or Hwarang guilds, and the culprit is you. Hunter Taejun Lee. Taejun's eyes go wide, blood streaked across his face and jacket, question marks pressing in around him from every side. What? And the culprit is you, Hunter Taejun Lee. What? What do you mean? Yeonhwa Se doesn't back down. This man fought hard alongside us. There is just no way. Fought alongside you? Well, I think he did everything by himself. But I was watching everyone struggle against the undead necromancer on livestream. It was Taejun Lee who controlled the battle, from helping all of you dodge the necromancer's attacks to discovering the hidden area. Though we weren't able to see what was in there, it is certain that the area held secrets to the necromancer's weakness. Isn't it strange for a D-tier hunter to be aware of such crucial information? Well, I guess that makes sense. Yeonhwa Seo's eyes stay locked on his. So speak now, Mr. Taejun Lee. Yeonhwa Seo studies him, unblinking. You knew in advance that an undead necromancer would spawn, didn't you? Taejun's face is pale, his eyes wide beneath the crackling lightning. I had no clue! Taepyeong Ma's voice cuts down at Taejun from above. What are you waiting for? A jagged balloon hangs unfinished above him. If you do not answer, Taepyeong Ma doesn't need to say the rest. The ground splits and screams beneath him as raw power tears loose, his hair flaring red against a storm of light, arms folded, waiting. I will slaughter you right now. The words tear loose from the splitting rock. This can't be real. He's really gonna kill me. Taejun's face surfaces from the dark, sweat pouring down, eyes wide with fear. I have to calm down. There must be a way to clear my name. Necro, offering, summoner, contract. Wait, please, hear me out. It was actually my dream to become a necromancer. Myo, what are you on about? I did much research since a young age on the traits and skill patterns of all undead monsters and their weaknesses. And that's how I knew that the Necro was hiding his host body somewhere. Yeonhwa So folds her arms, one eyebrow arched. Do you really expect me to believe such nonsense? A beat passes before the answer comes. If you still don't believe me, then please look at this. A crowd of onlookers in business suits recoils, one voice breaking from the rest. That's… Yeonhwa So folds her arms and turns toward what has drawn every eye, a towering red-skinned figure, its mane wild and crimson, one burning eye fixed dead ahead. Jinhyuk Choi, Junhyun, and Seren can only stare, the shock hitting them all at once. Taejun Lee's voice cuts through the quiet. I found this finger inside a chest. He stares down at his palm, where a blackened, severed finger twitches and squirms against his skin, his own eyes wide with dread. This is proof that someone made a contract with the Necro. The Necro was not spawned in the dungeon randomly. As Jinhyuk said, the dungeon boss here is supposed to be a B-tier boss, the Imugi Dragon. Somebody must have summoned it through a contract. Erratus so many thank you to summoner. And released it into this dungeon to tamper with the exam. And one more thing, the undead necromancer is absolutely forbidden from defying its summoner's commands. That means it is impossible for any of us, including me, to be the guilty one, since it attacked us. Everything he said is true. If he was the real culprit, he wouldn't have had any reason to protect his fellow hunters. Then who is the perpetrator? Is it someone from a dark magic guild? The truth is closer than it appears. The suspect is somewhere in here. Taejun's eye widens, caught in a sudden burst of blue-white light, his face taut with dawning tension. Everyone, please check each other's hands. The group stands together along the wall, lit in cold green light, no one moving yet. In the foreground, a bald man's fist stays clenched at his side, and a woman with dark red hair looks back over her shoulder, tense. Hey, show me your fingers! A hand jabs out, accusing, and the man on the receiving end recoils, mouth wide, startled. Around them, the group breaks into a murmuring shuffle, hands raised, checking one another's fingers in the cold light, the bald man drifting forward through the crowd, silent. It's not me! Why don't you show yours? Sweat beads on his jaw as he grits his teeth. Shoot! It's him! He's the owner of the finger! Wow, how did you know that the culprit would be present? Taejun only blinks. Huh? Because that's how it usually is in mystery comic books. Being a detective is easy peasy. Something crackles to life around her, blue light pouring off her skin as if straining against her own body. Hunter Co., a man with wild red hair, rockets down out of the dark, teeth bared, fist drawn back to strike. Below him, Yeonhwa Se whips her hand up, and green light roars to life around her fingers to meet him. Right, we won't let him get away. Green light erupts, blinding and jagged, swallowing everything, and the bald man turns from it, fist clenched, a strangled, of Karis, all he can manage. You dare lay your hands on my disciple? Unforgivable! The wild-haired man tears through the red-streaked air toward him, and unnamed can only brace, sweat beating down his brow. A sudden jolt of alarm cuts across a reddened face, eyes going wide and sharp all at once. A bald man in a dark suit sways where he stands, foam bubbling from his mouth, his eyes rolled half shut under the sickly green glow. Somewhere close, a voice cries out, "He's poisoned himself to death!" A man with reddened, flushed skin rounds on the others, his face twisted with fury. What are you all doing? He doesn't wait for an answer before barking another command toward the glow behind him. Take this man's body to the Association HQ. Find out who sent him and why. Streaks of green light tear down the corridor as a red-haired man, weapons strapped across his back, stands watching two figures rush past him, bathed in the same green glow. A man in a suit, and close behind him, a woman breaking into a run. Yes, sir, she calls back, sprinting after him, while below them, a bald man kneels, turned away, fists clenched at his sides. Yeonhwa So's eyes narrow. To think someone would come after Azure Lotus and Hwarung with dark magic. Whoever's behind this, I will expose them, no matter the cost. I apologize for the misunderstanding, Taejun, Yeonhwa So says, smiling as she touches her cheek. I will be sure to make it up to… Taejun plummets, arms flailing, and slams into the ground below. Taejun? Taejun Lee! Hey, snap out of it! Taejun lies motionless, dirt-streaked, Addy hovering anxiously above him. S asterisk, 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 I'm out of mana. An eye opened slowly in the dark. Ugh, where am I? From somewhere close by, another voice rings out. Hey, I think he's awake. Jinhyuk and Sana? Hey, guys, what are you doing here? To see you, of course. I heard you collapsed. Just checking to see if you're dead or not, bro. You must have pushed yourself too far. The doctor said it could have been much worse. Oh, and I heard you were incredible at the B-tier exam. Huh? Check this out. The whole internet is talking about you. The screen fills with a headline. Taejun Lee is magnificent. But who is he? Dated XXXX 2025 by Hunter x Hunter. Beneath a shadowed figure marked with a question mark and a small skull, a note reads, "The image is not related to the article." Then the story itself. Mr. Taejun Lee, a D-tier hunter, took part in the 32nd annual B-tier hunter exam, taking down a high-level undead necromancer. Not only did he know the necromancer's weak points, but also, below it, something dark and clawed presses in from beneath, heavy and waiting. What the? Taejun stares at his phone, and the comments keep coming. I saw the whole stream. He carried everyone else, an intelligent young man. They make it sound like he killed the necro all on his own. Young Jin stretches back in his chair, smug as ever. If it weren't for me, he had no shot. Oh, come on. I watched the replay. Taejun really did carry all of you. Shut up. You don't even know how much I actually helped. It's been a while since the three of us chatted like this. A door slides open with a low mechanical whir. You're awake, Taejun. Guildmaster Seo, someone cries out as Yunhua Seo walks in, unhurried, her cape trailing behind her. What brings you here? Taejun asks. Ah, you must have been unaware, comes the reply. I'm the chairwoman of this hospital. What? Taejun cries. Taejun lies still on the stretcher as the voice above him explains. You collapsed all of a sudden, so we took you to the hospital run by our guild. It's a safe place here. Then, watching from below, Soohyun adds, also, I owe you one. Taejun blinks up at them. Oh me? What for? From somewhere above, the answer comes. You saved Saren, the cutie pie of our guild. And below, Saren's face goes hot with embarrassment, fist balling up as if she'd rather be anywhere else than hearing herself described that way. Her thought flutters out before she can stop it. Cutie pie? Hearts bloom around her as her whole face goes warm, and then the feeling bursts out of her for real. Just the thought of possibly losing her tears my heart into pieces. Taejun only stares, utterly lost. A hand closes around a slender ankle, circled with a thin gold bracelet. So tell me what you desire. A voice drifts down from someone unseen, wrapped in folds of pink and magenta, and I will make sure to reward you.